The most exciting time in basketball is upon us, the NBA Finals. And I believe this will be a entertaining series to watch. It won't be as dull as the prior series that the Boston Celtics played in. The Cavaliers, that was a boring series. The first round against Miami Heat, that was boring. Indiana, that was boring. A lot of people can say, and as I said before, I withheld some of my comments about Boston having a cakewalk, and I can confirm now that the East was a cakewalk for the Boston Celtics. But you cannot change your opponent in front of you. You just have to play who's in front of you, and they did, and they didn't dominate, but they just made it look easy, and it was lacking excitement in every single series besides a couple games versus Indiana. With that being said, the finals is here, and Dallas versus Boston will be a good series to watch. And when it comes to picking my winner for this series, it's really difficult. It's difficult because in my heart, I want Dallas, Luka, Kyrie to win the championship. But my head is telling me Boston has a better team. Boston is ready to win a championship now. They've been here before. They're ready to win a championship finally. So Jason Tatum can get this monkey off his back and finally be respected. That's what's going on in my head. But in my heart, it's like, no, I want the Mavericks to win. I want to see Kyrie win a championship, because when Kyrie gets the championship, he gets the monkey off his back about this LeBron narrative, the narrative that was pushed after he left Cleveland. Why did you leave LeBron? Like, y'all had something special. Left Cleveland. He tried to be a leader with Boston. That didn't succeed, as they say. We know it just didn't work out in Boston, okay? They actually helped him go on I think like a 16-game win streak his first season there. And a lot of people forget about that. But that's besides the point here. Kyrie went to Boston, and he departed from Boston, went to Brooklyn. It wasn't successful in Brooklyn. You had the vax and all that. And you had people at the time in 2020, I can remember clearly Kendrick Perkins on national TV saying, hey, if you take Kyrie, I think he was on national TV, I can't remember, but Kendrick Perkins said, if you take Kyrie's brain out of his head and put it in a bird's brain, the bird will fly backwards.
Irving, listen, Greeny, if you take Kyrie Irving brain and put it in a bird right now, guess what that bird is going to do? It's going to fly backwards. Because Kyrie right now, he's confused. He's showing his lack of leadership. Here it is, Kyrie, you have been on these conference calls.
I'm like, did he really just say that about this has nothing to do with Kyrie's basketball skills or what he does on the court. I'm here to criticize and to just examine somebody's game and see if they're doing good on the court or not. But to just attack and undermine someone's humanity, undermine somebody's humanity, minify them, devalue them, denigrate them, and say that, hey, you have less value as a human. Okay, a bird has more value than you, basically. A bird has more value than you, Kyrie. A bird is more intellectually sound and more smarter and more wiser than you. You're so dumb, ignorant, stupid, and you're a fool. If I put your brain into a bird's head, the bird will fly backwards, indicating that Kyrie is a fool, Kyrie's stupid, and he has no value as a human being, basically. It has nothing to do with basketball. So I want to see Kyrie redeem and just be vindicated on his image by winning a championship, because people said he didn't care about the game of basketball. He was detriment in the locker room. He wasn't a good teammate. A lot of different narratives around Kyrie. I'm like, okay, Kyrie can vindicate himself by winning the NBA championship with the LeBron thing. He can put that beside him. He can say, hey, I won a championship without LeBron James. That's something good he can say. And also now people are giving quote unquote apologies, which Kendrick Perkins, you did not apologize at all. Now, when it comes to apologizing, asking for forgiveness, you have to state what you did wrong. What you did wrong. You know, here on the Daily Thinker, we talk about theology in basketball. So if you want to forgive someone, you have to acknowledge what you did wrong. You have to come to the person and say, hey, I sinned against you. I spoke this about you. I denigrated you this way. I humiliated you this way. Forgive me for this and that. Kyrie, forgive me for saying that if I take out your brain and put it in a bird's brain, the bird will fly backwards. Kyrie, forgive me for that. And he said the same thing about Joe Mazzulla too.
Joe Mazzulla. This is why I picked Michael Malone. They have two Joe Mazzullas. They have the one that got the philosophy of we're going to get up more threes than you. And, you know, when they do and they hit him, he looks great. And then you have the other Joe Mazzulla who just stands over there and you wonder, like, if you take his brain out and you put it in the bird is going to start flying backwards, okay? You got that Joe Mazzulla. You know why I say that?
No.
Because he doesn't get these guys easy looks.
Okay.
Time and time again, we kept saying,
and Joe Mazzulla is in the NBA Finals. So these two people that Kendrick Perkins talked about and said that, hey, they're stupid and they have less value than a bird are both in the NBA Finals. Is that a coincidence? But that's crazy. If you want to ask for forgiveness, Perk, or if you want to apologize, you have to state what you did wrong and ask for apology that way and ask somebody to forgive you that way. You can't say, yeah, I need to hear a lot of apologies going on and say, yeah, I was one of them saying that. No, you need to state what you said, address what you said and say, hey, forgive me for saying that about you. You need to say, forgive me for undermining your human existence and saying that a bird has more value and is smarter than you. Forgive me for that, but you didn't do that, Perk. I knew I just went on a tangent here. That has nothing to do with the NBA Finals, but that's one of the reasons I want to see Kyrie win an NBA championship this year. And also Luka. I would love to see Luka win an NBA championship. I mean, this would just solidify him as one of the best players in NBA history. 5 all NBA selections in 6 years. He wins a NBA Finals champion. She wins a championship. He wins Finals MVP. That can happen. But this year, it's prime for Boston to win the NBA championship. You have the team. You're facing a team that hasn't been there before. This is your second time in 3 years. Tatum, you absolutely have the opportunity, the chance to win an NBA championship here and solidify yourself as a top 5 guy in the NBA. Because I hear a lot like Tatum is not a top 5 guy. We don't talk about Tatum the way we talk about Anthony Edwards or Luka or even Shea for that matter. And Tatum has had more success than Luka, Shea, and Anthony Edwards combined. But we don't talk about him the way we talk about them. We talk about Tatum as he's a good player. He's good. He's on the cusp of being a superstar. He's right there. He's not a superstar yet. He's getting close. He's edging towards that. But no, Tatum can solidify himself as one of the top guys in the NBA. I already think that he is, but of course you have to prove it by winning a championship, because too much success at the beginning, now people are looking for you to win a championship so they can now say that, hey, Tatum he's good. He had success before, but we don't care what he does. He has to win a championship now for us to bump him up in the rankings, whatever those rankings may be. And Jaylen Brown has been playing good. Jrue Holiday playing good. I would love to see KP come back. KP is working his way back, as you can see, but hopefully we might see him in the postseason. But it's hard to just pencil him in there when they had so much success without him, a great rhythm without KP. So I'm like, it can be kind of tricky to try to force him in that lineup, try to force stuff, and maybe it won't work. Maybe it will. We have to wait and see. But I want to see how they will guard Luka and Kyrie, where they blitz them, trap them, get the ball out of their hands. I know they have a lot of bodies to throw at Kyrie and Luka. That's something that worries me about the Dallas Mavericks. I had the same worry when it came to the Timberwolves, and Kyrie and Luka said, hey, Gusto, don't worry about that, because we are skilled enough to get into the paint. We are skilled enough to get off our shots, and our bigs are skilled enough to finish around the rim and also make good decisions when they get the ball in the paint or get the ball at the elbow or at the free throw line. They can make good decisions. And we saw Derek Lively, Gafford do that. PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., great defenders, but I want to see how they will guard Luka and Kyrie. If they will blitz them, get the ball out of their hands. I know they will throw Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum at Luka and Kyrie. So this will be an interesting series, but I have Boston winning this series in 6. I would love to see Dallas win, but my heart is telling me Boston because I see Boston as more of a complete team, and Drew Holiday just at the snake of that defense. He's a viper on defense, man. And I know no defender can stay in front of Kyrie or Luka or slow them down. To be honest, they just miss shots. You have to depend on them missing shots. And if they miss shots, that's the only thing you can hope for. Drew can do that. Derek White can force them to make these tough shots, which they always do, but maybe they can slow them down. It all depends on this, though. If the bigs can outplay Derek Lively and Gafford, which is Horford, basically, which is the big there, in my opinion, they can win this round. But if Derek Lively and Gafford have the same type of play they had against the Dallas Mavericks, it will be difficult. It will be an uphill battle to beat this Mavericks team. I know it sounds crazy, but this series, because I'm looking at Brown and Tatum and Kyrie and Luka to, X each other out. Now, PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., you have to be consistent because I know Derek White can be consistent. And if Derek White is consistent, Derrick Jones Jr., can you be consistent? So it's dependent on these role players and also Lively and Gafford. If they can outplay the bigs, Al Horford, who is older, maybe they can pull this thing off. But this round should be exciting. Y'all let me know who y'all have winning in the NBA Finals. Until next time, guys, peace. I don't know, man. Just a tough decision. I'm like, who should win, Kyrie or Luka? Kyrie or Luka? Luka and Kyrie on the same team. But who should win this series? The Mavericks or Boston? I'm leaning towards, my heart is telling me Dallas. My mind is telling me Boston.